the movie that they made.
Oh, Evolution?
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, no.
Which, if you look into the creation of that, basically the studios were like, we're gonna loosely base it off of Dragon Ball, but it's not Dragon Ball. Like we know it's not, and they didn't even tell the actors that until it was too late. So, if you watch Dragon Ball Evolution knowing that it's not Dragon Ball, it's just somebody's fan fiction, it's less bad. If you probably, I'm assuming if you watch the Yakuza series or even some of the more modern stuff that we watch,
Right.
knowing that it's just kind of loosely based on it, it's not going to be true to anything that we love.
Yeah, it's rough because they pretty much, so it was another situation where they told the actors, like, hey, don't play the games, don't engage in that media at all because we want you to have a unique experience, which on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, I'm like, dude, if you're going to tell them to do that, but then still have the characters very eerily similar, what's the point? And on top of that, you're also changing.
Why are we calling it the name of the thing? Just say it's like a spiritual successor.
Just call it something like, for instance, there's a spinoff series called Judgment, which takes place. I'm not exactly sure where in the timeline it takes place, but the point is, it's part of like the Yakuza or the Like a Dragon series as a whole. But it's its own like standalone title where you're pretty much playing as a cop, like a detective.
Nice.
I'm like, dude, it sounds like they wanted to make that like the Judgment series. Why not just make that instead and say call it like, I don't know, Judgment, a Yakuza like series or whatever.
No.
Or like a Dragon series or whatever.
I never quite understood Hollywood executives and big game executives because they make weird choices, and we always find out at the end. Yeah, the developers, the actors, the voice actors, they didn't want to do that, but he who handles the purse strings controls the world.
Right. So I guess
that's sad.
My last 2 cents about this is that I'm not expecting you to be like a Henry Cavill where you know every bit of lore about it all. Like you're a hyper
Henry Cavill
nerd.
might be a little bit autistic, which is fine.
Yeah, he might be, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
That being said, at the same time, if you're an actor, like your job is
thespian.
Yeah, and a thespian, someone whose job is to portray a certain character a certain way. I expect you to kind of do your basic homework, like study, like you're doing a character study, right?
Based on the canon.
Yeah, based on the canon. Like how else are you supposed to know what you're getting into? Like for instance, anytime I see like those comic book portrayals, I expect these people to have at least maybe read 1 or 2 of the comics or like, have an idea of like, hey, maybe this character is supposed to be like this. Now, is it like that? No, unfortunately it's not. And sometimes it turns out fine. But that being said, usually what happens is that you have people who know the comics or who know the original source material and they're involved in the production of this project, so to speak.
You know what I love? And I'm wrapping up the Yakuza thing, kind of talking about movies in general. Planet of the Apes. I never watched the originals or even the kind of the...
Oh, you never?
No, I've never seen the... I mean, I've seen like clips of the originals.
I would recommend like at least watching the first original movie.
And I want to, because I feel like just based on some of the clips I've seen, there's got some charm to it and maybe some good storytelling. But Kojima was actually saying that MGS1 should be remade at some point, but he's not going to do it. And whoever does it, they should do it in the same way that you would go and remake like Planet of the Apes, where it's a completely different story.
Right.
But it still holds a lot of the same messaging and charm and themes and maybe some of the same characters.
It's like Metal Gear Solid 1, like
Yes.
Shadow Moses.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I thought, man, that's really interesting, especially as a creator. It's your baby. And he's like, yeah. Well, and he said that he really liked the way that Planet of the Apes was remade for the more recent one, like Rise of the Planet.
Right.
Like, the idea that you can take a franchise, start it over, tell a completely different story, really, but tell a story that's true to the nature of the thing. Not like Dragon Ball Evolution, which was a complete departure. Like, it's not the same thing at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And really should be deleted from, the archives. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure there's somebody who likes it, which I'm not going to be mad at them. I just think they should probably watch Dragon Ball for real, and they'll be disappointed.
Listen, don't mess with us Dragon Ball fans. We don't even watch Dragon Ball.